Okay, so just to initially introduce to the new Nine Traders Discord, this is where I want to create the Nine Traders and maybe fulfill the whole alphabet. Anyway, let's get into this because there's a lot of detail to cover on this video. It's all about the Frax Share earning strategies, and I'll tell you, this is going to blow up. I just know it's going to blow up in the future. I didn't even think that we was close to maxing out, but there's just new things launching on here. It's going to be huge. So with that being said, this is why I'm doing this video. But secondly, I've introduced a new channel, the FXS Trendmaster, down here. I'm going to be posting the same signals as the Bitcoin Trendmaster, and we've got the gold day trading setups there, and a few different, like four or five separate trades here within the last 48 hours. Just mine, we nearly got 10 hours, so no, I think it was about 6 hours, but either way, very profitable. You need this if you're trading. If you're paying any signal service, this is what you need, please, because I've built something that is going to be very helpful. I don't want to let anybody down. I can't be dealing with any headaches either, so this is solid. But this is my own personal trading strategies anyway. So moving forwards, let's get into the FXS stuff. Okay, so we're going to start to break down the power of introducing Trendmaster into holding the positions or moving out of the positions. And then in this video I'm just going to explain a personal strategy of mine of what to do at what point, okay, in order to maximize your earnings, your profits. I'm just going to start from the last point, okay, so which is around here. So what I'm waiting for is a clean move above the upper boundary, okay, and if you're unsure about this system, please watch my Trendmaster 2.0 video, because it's going to give you more of an insight into what I'm looking for in order to use this. Okay, so check that. So at this point here, we're broken above and then we're moving above. So if we break out the replay here, we can see, okay, exactly when we would look to initiate this position. So here's an example. Okay, we've got a candle which has been pushed up, but then it opens next here, back underneath. So this will give us an insight that with this price action, you have to understand it's not centralized or anything. So we do get these gaps, and not to mention it's algorithmic stable coin. So we're at this point here in time, and then we broke above. Okay, so if I just change this, you can see we're above this line now. So the next candle is looking like so. So we look to take that position. Okay, so we'll buy into FXS here. Okay, with the understanding if we get some candles back down underneath this lower boundary, then we'll look to take that position out. So moving forward, we're moving, okay, up until that point. So at this point, okay, we've broken back below this lower boundary. Now there are other options that we can talk about. For example, the breakdown back below this upper boundary. Okay, it's carried on up. We're coming back below. So here again, back below the lower boundary, we could look to take some profits or whatever. Maybe I'm just talking too much detail, but at the end of the day, we've come back below this lower boundary and we're still in profits. Okay, so then following the next price action, another one, we've come back below, look, that previous candle, but then shot off ups. Okay, so a little bit of a hairy stage here, but we've got the two boundaries which are still bullish, blue, and we're back above now. Okay, so moving on, moving into heavy profits here. Now, that's the beauty of the Trendmaster. So at this point now, we've moved inside of the cloud. So you know, when we're moving inside of this cloud, we're looking to take caution. Okay, so we have broke, if you see this, look, so we break inside of the cloud, we've pushed down, we've got to a point where we're consolidating then, and then we move back out of the cloud. Okay, now, so anyway, we break outside, go off to new highs, and then come down, spike in, rest on top, and then break inside of the cloud again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it when we get the opposing signal here. So we're in, so the profit we've made is 14%, not bad, to the point where we get out. So on this particular candle here, you know, we'd probably look to exit a portion or all of it. And you know, no candles below this jagged line here. Now we've got it. So 16% in the bag. So let's just make a little note of this. So we've got 16% for that move. So we've sold out our FXS here, and what we're going to do, okay, at this particular position, well, in fact, I'm going to tell you a couple of different ways. Okay, so you know, at this point is where we put in the yield strategy, okay, which I'm going to cover at the end here. Okay, so we'll move into yield strategy here. Now there's two different yield strategies that I do. One, okay, in fact what I'm going to do is we're going to have two yield strategies. Okay, we're going to have one when it moves inside of this lower boundary. Okay, so this is going to be yield strategy 1, called let's just call it Frax, okay, for now. And then yield strategy 2 could come, oops, here. Now you don't have to do all of them. There's different strategies. There's different strategies which can kind of give different results, and it is a little bit complicated to explain, because it's you learn this from experience about what happens with your money when they're in liquidity pools and things like that. So I will try and simplify it. So you know, we've entered here, we've made a 16.5% moving up to here. Okay, we've exited at this position. So just for visual purposes, I'm going to put a short position here. So we're in this position now, and you know, we've basically switched out our Frax into stable coins here and deposited them, and they're earning yield at this precise moment. Okay, so after we've done that, oh, okay, that's all. So essentially, let's measure this, where we're at. So we've got 9.4%. So we've made 9.4% here, and we've been earning yield. Okay, so let's get on to the ins and outs of earning. Okay, and there's there's many different ways you can do this. I'm just going to talk about the simplest way. Okay, the least amount of headache. Okay, the least amount of loss, because as you can see, there's many different options here, and you know, if we look at the APY base max here, you know, there are some pretty heavy ones, but you know, I've been doing this, and you know, you could do this for 3 months, 6 months, get one wrong move, and the token or something has lost value. You try and withdraw it, the liquidity pool IP loss has switched some of your things here and there, and it's just like, hang on, what's going on? That's not what I put in there. So please just take this for simplicity. Okay, so there's going to be two options that we focus on. First one is going to be the Uniswap Frax FXS. Okay, So the Uniswap Frax FXS is going to be the yield strategy one here. Now, let me just talk about this for a second. Okay, so let's just simply put here we have bought 1000 FXS. Okay, now 1000 FXS. If we say, you know, one FXS equals 30 Frax. Okay, now Frax is the stable coin. So Frax is like USDT or USDC. So we know that, you know, 100 FXS is 3000 Frax. Okay, cool. Oh no, sorry. What is the price here? The price here is 29. So we know that we just spent 2,900 Frax on 100 FXS, or whatever we bought it with. It doesn't really matter. We've got $2,900 worth of FXS. Okay, so we know 100 FXS is, you know, 2,900 Frax, or, you know, dollars value. So moving forwards, we've got one FXS is 29 Frax. If you look at the price on the right hand side, about $29. Let's just round it up, round it down. Okay, so we've got 2,900, you know, USDT DAI, whatever you bought this with, in at this position here. Okay, so it's moved up, and let's say you've got to this point here. Okay, so you're at this point here, and you're like, right, I'm going to switch into my yield strategy one for Frax. So we have made 23.14%. So if I just move this up here and just talk about our potential profits here, you know, one FXS up here is now worth $35 or 35 Frax. Okay, so, you know, our 100 FXS is 3,500 Frax. Okay, that's cool. What we're going to do at this point, we're going to go over to the Frax website, and then we're going to look for the Frax FXS Uniswap pool. Now here, so the base, okay, is 28%, max 86%. That's massive. So very, very important to understand this stuff. So we see the APR here. It's gone quite high. We're nice. Let's see what the 3-month. So it went as low as 23. So we know basically that, you know, we can get 20% plus off this when we put this in. Okay, so you just click the liquidity button at the top here, and you'll just open this. So here it will open up the pool that you need to enter your liquidity into. Now you're not obviously going to have any Frax. You've got literally only FXS. We've got hundreds. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it. Okay, so how you're going to do it is you'll switch half of your FXS, which will be located here, 100. So you'll swap 50 FXS, which will look like so, and then you'll swap it into Frax, and then it will arrive just here. Okay, so once you've got half your Frax and you know, the remaining Frax share, you'll come back to the pool, and the best way I just do this is to go back to the staking. This is just to save any phishing attempts. Add liquidity here, and then you'd enter it here. So you'd see 50, and then you'd enter the amount of Frax there and add it in. Okay, so once you've added this liquidity in, you'll get liquidity pool tokens, and then you'll come back to the Frax Finance, and you'll see your liquidity pool tokens here. So you can just click and deposit your, you know, liquidity pool tokens here, and then you'll be earning, you know, Frax Share. So So just going to the chart, let me just explain this because it is important to try and understand this. Is when you've entered here, okay, you move up to here. Now you've made 23% getting out here. What you're actually doing here is you're selling 50%. Okay, now Frax, remember, is a stable coin. Now you've sold 50% here, okay, and you've made like 23% move, and you've sold 50%. So the point is that you've secured the profits in here, and you haven't just changed what you're doing and moved into the liquidity pool. You've actually sold half of your Frax. So traders, what they do is they'd enter the market here and exit, and then basically here they'd just wait for another setup, or they'd be waiting God knows how long. Prices keep coming down. You can't short this. Okay, you can only sell, so you can sell it into Frax, and then as this comes down, you could potentially buy back into Frax Share. So you've sold 50% here. Now let me explain something. What happens to your liquidity pool when the price moves down here? When this price moves down here, okay, this Frax that you've put into here will start to switch back into FXS. So as this comes down here, okay, let's say you've got half in Frax, half in FXS, the shift in price will force more of the liquidity into FXS. Okay, so it's almost like it's automatically buying it back for you as price comes down here. That's very important to understand. Okay, so one example could be is you've got 100 FXS here, it comes up to here, it moves into the inner boundary, and you sell 50%. Well, you sell 25% of your FXS here, and half of the position you run, you put into this stable, this liquidity pool. So you do this. So let me just adjust this. Okay, so we've got it labelled out here just to break it down. So we've got 100 FXS running in our trade. We've come back inside, this second push up here, and we're looking to secure some profits. So we decide to secure 50% of that trade, which is 50 FXS, and in monetary value it's 1800 Frax USDT or DAI or what have you. So we're selling 50% of the above. That's what we've decided to do, and we're going to do the yield strategy with this. So to do that, we're not actually going to sell 50%. We're only going to sell 25%. Okay, so 50% of half of this trade is 25 FXS, so we switch that into Frax. So 25 FXS, Frax Share is 900 Frax. So we go to the liquidity pool, like I said, this one, and we will enter 925 Frax, and that will look like so. It's a different price here because of the price discrepancy. We're down here at the moment. So we'd enter that. So at this point in time, we've entered it, and we can click pay the gas fee, and we will be, boom, in earning. Okay, so the point is we've secured this trade here, and we've almost put that profit and put it aside into a small savings, which is going to earn more money moving forwards. Amazing. We get to this point, okay, yield strategy, stablecoin. So at this point, we're going to sell pretty much all of it, and we move out of the market. So obviously at this point, we're 9.4% up, which is great. Okay, so we just made a small note here. So here at the time when we get the signal to break to the downside is we sold the remaining into stable coins, and 1 FXS here is 34 Frax. So our remaining 50 FXS that we had is 1700 Frax. Now, bearing in mind that we spent 2,900 Frax here, we've already regained like 1800, and then we're going to get another 1700. So we're well up here, okay, and this is before this 10% moves even come in. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over to the Frax Finance website again. Okay guys, so I know that we're getting a little bit complicated here at this point in time. You know, we've got a lot of different options here, but please try and stay with me. Okay, so we're gonna just navigate to the Uniswap section, which is here. Okay, and then we've got this Frax FXS, which we talked about before. Well, this time we're going to go into stable coin. Okay, and we've got two options here. We've got Frax DAI and we've got Frax USDC, and it doesn't matter which one you use. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll look at the APR base max here, and we can see DAI is higher, so we'll just open that. So here, as you can see, and damn, this is so obvious, look at this big jump here. Okay, big jump. That's simply because somebody has switched their liquidity from this pool boom, this big drop here of about 332 million to 284. So you're looking at about 50 million there, and switched it into the DAI pool, and that's simply because the APY is better. So Frax DAI pool, let's start with this one. So what we're going to do is we'll simply switch our FXS into half DAI and half Frax. So we'll come to the swap page, FXS into DAI, 25 each, and then we take that and we enter it into our liquidity pool. Okay, and you're going to get these. Now, it's very important that you understand that follow these instructions. Okay, 0.05 fee tier, Frax 0.99501 to max price 1.005. That's important to understand. Up the top here, click Frax. Okay, very important that you do this. Now, we're going to get a beta of 13.84%. Now, if you start staking VFXS, okay, if you notice here, we get boost. Okay, you get additional boost. Now, this is what this 69% APR max is all about. So this would be staking FXS for 3.96, but you're going to get it back from all the boosts that you're going to get. So anyway, so coming back to here, we've entered into the liquidity pool. Okay, to summarize this last move, okay, and then I just want to go over some points. So here we got the signal, we sold the remaining 50%, which was 50 FXS. Okay, one FXS, as you can see, is about 34 Frax or dollars. So selling our 50 FXS, what we're going to do is, because we're doing the DAI Frax pool, we sell half into DAI, half into Frax, enter into the Uniswap pool, move back to the Frax Finance page, and then stake those tokens on that page for a 13.8% APY. Lovely. And then we get the 10% move down. So all is good. So point one, you can open this strategy up at this point in time, okay, and hold half the FXS. But the problem is as this price moves up here, your FXS is going to switch into Frax, and you're not going to get this, you know, the full 16% move. Okay, second thing is gas fees. Okay, very important, gas fees. I mean, where can I even start with the gas fees here? First things first is if you've made 10%, okay, on $1,000, that's $100 and if your gas fee is $50, is okay, okay, because what you're doing is you're parking it in here. Now, obviously, when the ETH 2.0 comes along, this won't be a problem. This does have better returns with a larger amount of money. It's easier to cover the gas fees. So, for example, if you're doing 2K here, 10K, 10% of that is 1K. You're making a few moves with a few gas fees. It's not a big of a problem. But if you want to try and do this with $50, $100, it's not going to work. Okay, so we've got one last option here. Okay, I've got some assets in Aave market, okay, in the Ethereum V2 market. And if we just look down here, we can borrow Frax, okay? We can borrow 12,410 Frax, okay? And look at the variable APY, 3.95. So let's just open that up. Okay, the reason why I've been looking at this, okay, is very, very simple strategy. Okay, we've got 3.95% APY. That means that's what you're going to pay back on a year. Now, we do have these spikes, and as you can see, it's come back. It hasn't been like a line that's moved up to 25% and then stayed there. It's up and it's back down, okay? So quite simply, we can borrow this at 3.95%. We could borrow 10K, for example, and come here to the staking page. We can do two options. We could switch half of it into DAI and earn 13%. So basically, we're making 10% off that. Okay, so minus the borrowing percentage, and we'll earn 10% there. Now, there can be another better way of doing this, and this would just be to simply borrow something like DAI, okay? So if you look at the borrow rate for DAI, we have a stable kind of, it's not really over 4%. Okay, so we can take this DAI, we can come to Uniswap, swap half the DAI over to Frax, and then participate in the Frax DAI pool and earn 13.8%. Or you can do the first option, okay? Maybe when the price is a bit lower. So there's many different options, but it's about safe earning. That's the key. So, I hope I've made this clear into how this works. As we're buying, we're moving into FXS, and when we want to take profits, we're moving into the FXS Frax stable coin liquidity pools. Okay, now please bear in mind there's a lock-in period with that. Okay, so if you do decide to do that, it's not a trade, it's going to be a lock-in earning period. So it's a case of, right, I want to secure this amount of profit and I'm going to earn this on it, and we'll come back to it at a later date. And that also secures it if it does take a bounce or whether you make a mistake or something. But at this point, when we're entering here, we sell out, we move into stable coins, we're safe, we're earning, okay? And then as this moves down, we can potentially buy back into Frax, and there's no lock-in period on this one either. So, when we're entering into these positions, you're not going to have to wait for that unlocking period. And also, you get FXS, Frax, and DAI rewards. Okay, so very, very powerful strategies if you can keep on top of it, understand what you're doing, and basically smash it. So that's all for today. Cheers.